What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another day in Car Mechanic Simulator with me, the Virtual Mechanic. And I know it's Friday and we should be playing What the Friday, but we've got new DLC to play with, and that overrides everything. I always like new DLC, so we'll be working on this for the next little while. We will be back with What the Friday. Don't you worry about that. Today, we've got the thing. Zhonghua Xiongying. Never going to try and pronounce that ever again, but I gave it a go, and that's what counts. This I'm calling the Jeep thing, the off-road thing, the military Jeep thing, something along those lines. Not to be confused with the Volkswagen thing, which is a very cool vehicle. But anyway, this has only got the one config, as you can see there. It's available from all of the places, so you can literally get it anywhere. You don't have to worry. We got ours from the auction house, and it was the bad auction house. As you can see, everything in there is not the best quality. Did we get a good deal for it, though? Not quite. We bought it for 10,938 and could sell it for 10,349, losing out on 589 credits before we begin. But there we go. The engine in this one is the i4 1.6 single overhead cam R rear-wheel drive engine, which I do believe is the i4 single overhead cam BMJ engine. I'm not 100% on that. I don't know why these are coming out with slightly different names. I'm not sure if that's a new thing or what's going on with that. I shouldn't have the extra names on there. Never use them. I like the original names. But there we go. Still going to be a cool engine to play around with. We open that up. It does look like it is complete in there. Obviously, it is rear-wheel drive and not four-wheel drive for this off-roader. But we are going to take it round the gravel track today as requested in the comments. So we'll give that a go a bit later on and see if we can finally beat the Audi Quattro. Although, I doubt it. But you never know. We may just be able to do it with this beautiful thing. We're just going to keep calling it that. There we go. That's what we're doing today. Let's get started. Let's get over to the car wash. And let's get it cleaned up. Here we are in the car wash. And I will tell you, we are going to keep this livery on there because I quite like it. We might just change the texture. So let's get it cleaned and see how bad it looks underneath all of that grime. Not too bad. Still quite a lot of rust. We're going to need to sort a lot of that out. This piece here almost looks brand new, so that might be brand new. We'll find out later on. But let's get the interior done. Get this beast back on the lifter. Start tearing everything down. Ready to go back together. All shiny and new to hit the gravel track. The off-road thing is in the air. Let's get underneath and check for the oil pan. It is there, so we do need to get all of that drained out. Were you well looked after in the Chinese military? Sort of debatable. Let's get underneath and get this thing going. We are going to get started with the starter when we find it. There we go. Thank you for pointing that out to me, French Toast. I will never, ever not forget about that. Now, drive shaft next. Get you out nice and easy. One rusty bolt just there and one down the back as well. So a couple of them to get us started with. Nice and easy. Out with the gearbox. Do you have a few rusty bolts on you as well? But we're not going to complain. It's one of those things when you're doing a teardown. It will be a lot harder in real life than it is in the game. I can't take this out until I've taken that out. So we won't be able to get the engine out until we've done that. I'm going to crack on and get that done quickly. There we go. That's that part taken care of. Now we can grab that front exhaust section out of there. Nice and easy. And we should be able to rip the rest of this engine out. No problem at all. So let's go and grab the engine crane and get you pulled out of here. Open up the hood. And out you come. Nice and easy after we had to do fiddling around a little bit. But there we go. That's that done. What else have we got going on in the engine bay? So we've got the radiator where all the coolant is. We've got the wishy-washy reservoir, the brake servo. No power steering reservoir, nothing missing. Doesn't look like it, so we haven't got that to contend with. Batteries just up here. Fuse box in there. Do we have any ECU or anything? Doesn't look like it. Nothing I can directly spot. No, don't think so. We just jump down the back. We've got the fuel tank, and we'll take that fuel pump out of there as well. Ready for a little bit later on. Back up the front we go, though, because we've got to drain some liquids. So let's get going with that. You know the drill by now. Right-click. Additional tools, drain tools, click on hold in the container, and it'll drain it all out. We're going to get the rest of the suspension all stripped, get everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back together, and then we'll work on the bodywork for this lovely thing before putting it into the paint shop. That's everything repaired, replaced, or upgraded, ready to go back on. But now we need to sort out all of this bodywork. So let's just start getting it off and see what we've got here. Obviously, that's all nice and simple. Is that any front end pieces? Doesn't look like it. This fender wasn't quite brand new, but there we go. Out with the door. Oh, I missed. Out with the doors and windows there. Is the roof piece a bit? No, that's a window. Tail lights, rear bumper. Nice and easy. Going all the way around. You. And that mirror, there we go, left side mirror. That should be everything. We'll check in a minute, but let's get in and get all of this interior out. Just the one seat and the steering wheel. I'm sure we've got lots to go back in. That's a very raised up bench there, quite like that, but there we go. That should be all of it. So have we got everything? 1% on there. Nothing showing up on there. We have got everything. The frame is at 20%, and we bought the car for a little over 10,000. What do we think? I'm gonna go 1750. 2,000. Not far off on that one at all. Let's go in and check out the body shop. As I said, no extra parts, just what comes with it. There we go. Everything nice and simple, like for like replacement, just as it is. So let's get ours all back together with its white base. That looks really weird in a white base there, but there we go. Let's get ours all back together into the paint shop and get that livery back on, making it look awesome. Let's get this thing all back together then, ready to go into the paint shop. Definitely going to fix that white base. Don't like that one very much. So on with the hood and on with these lovely fenders. If I could click all the buttons, that is. In you go, and on you go with that front bumper there. Then we've got the windshield, lovely mirrors. Saying the word lovely too much, according to French Toast, but there we go. In you go, and in you go there. I'm going to try and stop saying it. There you go. Trunk. Then we've got the tail lights just on around here. Rear bumper. And the other side of the tail lights. On with the door, on with the front door, window, and mirror. And that should be everything for the bodywork. Apparently, I still have one mirror left in there. I did just scrap everything off, but apparently I missed something. Let's get in with the seats. We've got the high road all interior for the seats wise. So we're going to leave that as it is and maybe change the colours a bit later. We shall see. And the steering wheel is the Bowen steering wheel in there. Looking quite nice. That should be everything. That's not the screen I want. Body 91%. We're forgetting the license plates. There we go. We've got the VM plates with thing on them. Are they going to work today? No, they're still blacked out for some reason. I don't quite know what's going on with that. I've reported it to Red Dot Games. Hopefully that will get fixed soon, because right now my license plates, well, they don't really look that good. They just looked blacked out. But there we go. Now have we got everything? 100%, 100%, 100%. We most definitely have. Let's get this one into the paint shop and give it a lovely new colour. Well, here we are in the paint shop, and this is the base colour I'm going to be going for. It's a lovely matte green. I'm going to go into this screen so you can, no, not that screen, this screen, so you can see the different levels I've gone for. That should be at 65. There we go. So that's the colour for this beautiful green, and we all know what livery I'm going to go for. But before we get there, let's just take a look at all of the liveries. So first livery is that beautiful camo livery that we will be sticking with today. Slot number 2 has got a black stripe, as you can see, just running down with the base colour on the car. And then slot number 3 is exactly the same, but reversed. The base colour is what goes around on the stripe there, and the rest of the body is white, and you can't change that. You know, you're only changing the bar colour. We want to put that back to 65. I don't want to lose that one. There we go. So let's get it back onto its first livery. That's definitely what we're going with. You can see it's sort of a blend between these two greens here, just giving it an extra splash of that colour, because why not? And you do also get it on the floor, on the interior, and a few other places on the interior as well. Looking good. And we just go to here. I'm going to paint all the screws, including the rims. And we're going to keep, do you know what, actually, I'm going to do not the rims this time. All screws, but not rims. And hopefully that's just going to equate to black. I'm not sure what's going to go on with that one. Fingers crossed. So let's get this painted. On we go. Hopefully it's going to look incredible. We're going to maybe change some bits. I'm not sure. I might leave the seats as they are. They look quite good in that colour, if I'm being honest. They do sort of fit in with the rest of it. Maybe we won't change them. We'll leave them definitely as they are. I do like the front and rear bumpers being in the black, so we're going to leave that as it is. And do you know what? I don't think I'm going to change anything out. Actually, I'm going to change these. I'm going to take the chrome off of this. Maybe make that one into a black and get it matching in with the front and rear bumpers there. But that's about it for the moment. Let's get this car back on the lifter, get everything painted, and start getting it all back together. We got everything painted, ready to go back on. A few bits have changed. This front bumper is now in a matte black, along with the rear bumper and the mirrors on there. Lovely little matte black on there. I'm going to have to go into photo mode for this. Never mind. We just nipped onto the inside. The base of the seats now have a matte black on them, but the colour of the seats hasn't changed. So that all matches up. And we've also got a little bit of black, getting rid of the chrome on the centre of the steering wheel. I believe that's everything that has changed. So let's get you up in the air and start getting some of this suspension together. Starting with our beautiful shocks. We've got a carbon fibre on the main body of the shocks. A lovely green on the spring. And a bit of carbon fibre on the cap there. Looking quite nice. Off you come. Let's jump in. We're going to go straight down at the back because obviously we've got the TK Aftermarket rear suspension. Some assembly required. If we nip over to the front, we've got the pinion bearing just in there. And then the pinion gear with another pinion bearing. In you go. Oh, almost forgot it again. With the diff flange on the top there. And all our screws and bolts are in that black as we go round. The rear diff not painted because we don't need to, along with the caps. Although the screws on them are painted and they're looking very nice. On you go there. Then we've got the rear diff cover, which is in the green with black screws, making it just adding that extra little bit to it, looking pretty good. Obviously, this is in the brushed aluminium, and there's going to be a lot of the brushed aluminium on the underside. Now, if we jump up to the front, I'm going to throw these bits just in so they're in. We don't have to worry about them. Both blacked out, and then the actual hub, the knuckle, there we go, is in that beautiful green on there. So now we're going to jump to some clips of this all going in. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk about it in a moment. There we go, half of the suspension all done. Drum brakes all around on this one, and no disc brakes today, so no extra performance braking, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. Trying to increase the power as much as we can. We are missing a few little bits, but there we go. That's looking pretty good in there. Lots of this brushed aluminium plate, and obviously the main bit there. Few bits of the lovely green with a little bit of carbon fibre, just for good measure, and a splash of black, just to keep it all going. Looking nice down at the back. At the front, it is very similar. Bit of brushed aluminium, bit of carbon fibre, few splashes of the black, lots of that green, and then a little bit more black just on there as well. Looking very, very nice. What do you think? Do let me know in the comments below. But let's crack on. We've got to get the other side of the suspension all finished and ready to go. When we come back, we'll sort out the engine bay before going and building that beautiful i4 engine. There we go. All of the suspension finished. It looks pretty good with the brushed aluminium, a bit of that military green, and a few splashes of black on there. We did also forget to throw the fuel tank in, which is in a matte black, and the pump is in that military green just on top of it there. But let's crack on and get this engine bay all sorted, starting with the radiator C, which is in just a matte black on there, looking quite nice. The wishy-washy reservoir just up here. Then we've got the brake servo just over there, and the only piece left to go in is the battery. So let's get it in. The battery tray's in a lovely carbon fibre. The battery itself unpainted, just keeping its performance colours. Then the bracket on top also in the carbon fibre with the bracket rods just in a black chrome on there. Looking very nice. Keeping up with that theme. Little bit of carbon fibre just in there as well. There is a little bit more on the engine. Don't worry about that. But it's looking nice in there with that military green. I quite like it. I think the engine should look pretty good when we drop it in. So let's go and build it. It's already not on the stand because I forgot to put it back on. But there we go. Now it's already on the stand. The block itself is in that brushed aluminium and black, which is where you get all these little black details on there. The head itself, the engine head, is in a green with the brushed aluminium. Just a little bit of green on the outside just to keep it showing. Then obviously we got the camshaft, five camshaft caps on top of there. And that is pretty much it, ready to go. 4 spark plugs. There's not much talking about this engine because this is only available with the TK Aftermarket mod. This is what it swaps it out to. So let's start getting it all together. We're going to start up here with the cam gear. This is the TK Aftermarket adjustable cam gear. It does fit on this engine, so we're going to keep it. We've left it in its black because it looks quite good. Then we've got a timing belt blacked out and a belt tensioner just in that military green, just for good measure. Then the timing cover on the front here is just in a matte black. It looks good. I wanted to try and do this in carbon fibre, but it went all weird down the bottom here, so we decided to leave it off. The engine head cover itself, that is in the carbon fiber, the very fine weave carbon fiber on there. And I always use a base of grey for the carbon fiber. The finer weave one turns out a lot better in my opinion. Then let's crack on. What else have we got here? So we got the rear water outlet. If you're using the TK Aftermarket, you want to pay attention to this up there. You're just in the carbon fiber. All of these bolts will be black a little bit later on. Then if we nip around underneath this part, you got the PCV valve housing. That is in carbon fiber. It should be. I think it is. Yeah, there we go. Again, another TK Aftermarket part. Let's just swap out this engine. On the top of that, we got the PCV valve, also in the carbon fiber. Then we've got the thermostat housing, also in a little bit of carbon fiber on there as well. And then we should be able to get some of this stuff in. The coolant bypass hose, that's in a matte black with the brushed aluminium clip bits on it, looking quite nice. Sure, there's another hose that's meant to go under here somewhere. Maybe I have to put the intake manifold in. Let's get it in and find out. This one is in that military green, but mostly in the brushed aluminium. Just a few little splashes of the green on it here and there, just to keep up with the theme, like these little clips covers on there, and obviously just that little piece at the end. Can I get that hose in now? I can indeed. There we go. The other hose just in there, same as the first one, in a matte black with the brushed aluminium clips on it. Looking good. Down here, we got the oil filter housing in a brushed aluminium and a little splash of black just on that clip just there, but it works. Then the oil filter is just in a black there. We've also got the fuel filter in a black just up there. The throttle on you go is in the carbon fiber, keeping up with that splashes of carbon fiber we've got going on in there. And this lovely fuel rail is in the aluminium and a little bit of that green, just to keep up with the colour theme. Looking nice. We spin around over to here. We've got a cam position sensor, which we've kept in the military green, looking quite good. We also have the ignition coil up here, also in that military green. It's not military green, but that's what we're referring to it as. The ignition wires are also in that colour as well, looking very nice. Onto the front, we've got the power steering pump in a brushed aluminium. We've got the water pump in a brushed aluminium. We've also got the alternator in a brushed aluminium, looking very good. Again, all them bolts should go black when we get it in the engine, in the engine bay, should I say. Then the crankshaft pulley, we've gone for the TK Aftermarket lightweight crankshaft pulley in the brushed aluminium because it fits. Then we've got a serpentine belt, cheeky little idle roller in that military green, and then the other serpentine belt just there, finishing that all off. There is one more piece to go, the exhaust manifold, but it doesn't go in until we've got it in the car. So let's go and do that. Let's get this beast off the stand. Off you come. And let's get you in our 4x4 that's not a 4x4 Jeep thingamabob. We are going to take it around the gravel track. I'm still not sure why. But there we go. That's looking all right in there. The green's a bit much, maybe. I like all the brushed aluminium, and maybe we shouldn't have gone for carbon fibre on the heads. We should have maybe gone with that matte black. But we're going to stick with it nonetheless. Let's just go into photo mode and go up just a little bit more. It's still looking good. I quite like it. When that exhaust manifold goes on, I think it will look a lot better. So let's get up to that point. Let's get the car up in the air, get the drive shaft in, all of the exhaust, and that wonderful gearbox as well. On with the gearbox. Now, this is in black and brushed aluminium, and I love how it's turned out. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Lots of black pieces showing up on it all over the place. And obviously, them bolts now in black. We just nip round to the front here. See that crankshaft pulleys, bolts in the black there. The water pump up. That is the power steering pump. Bolts are in black. If we nip around to the other side, all the bolts around there are in black as well. Looking very nice. Let's get the starter in. We've just kept that one in a black with its black bolts. Looking quite lovely. Then, I said lovely again, didn't I? I'm trying to avoid that. Then we're going to get the front exhaust section in. Now, there is an issue with the TK Aftermarket mod and this particular engine. Every time I've bought like 6 of these in performance parts now. Every time you buy it in performance and put it in, it just changes back to the normal one. So we're sticking with the normal one in a brushed aluminium. Left these bits not painted or coloured because I couldn't get them to go how I wanted them to go. Middle muffler, if I can get that one, obviously is the resonator delete pipe in that brushed aluminium. And then the rear muffler also in that brushed aluminium. The drive shaft, you guessed it. Once again, we went for that carbon fibre one with some brushed aluminium on it, keeping up with the colour theme. And it's looking pretty good. It's a bit blue on the pipe. I wish it was a bit blacker so it matched in with the rest of our carbon fibre stuff. But it still looks good nonetheless. One more piece to go in before we get the wheels done. So let's get you back down on the ground. get that exhaust manifold in there and get the engine all finished off and ready to go. On we go with that. Last piece, exhaust manifold. On you go. Beautiful black bolts in the brushed aluminium, looking fantastic. I like that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. But there we go. We're going to get the windows tinted, liquids topped up, some lovely wheels done. We'll get this Jeep thing outside in the sun. Here we are then, finished with the second car from the China DLC. I'm not going to try and pronounce it again. We've been calling it the Thing, the military thing, something along those lines. We're going to just keep calling it the Thing because I can't pronounce it. I did try at the beginning, so if you want to laugh at that, go back to the beginning. Make sure you catch that part. But anyway, I love this thing. It's a little crazy, a little wacky, and a little wild. I do wish it was 4x4, ready for the gravel track. Obviously, it's not. We've got some carbon fibre on the engine, some brushed aluminium, and it's all looking good in there. I like the camo livery on this one. I think it looks really sweet. But let's talk about these rims. I went for the rim 37A on this one today. We did change the sizes a little bit from standard. The fronts are a 17-inch rim with a 255 width and a 55 profile on there. Looking quite nice. Obviously, we've got a little bit of that green. It's not quite exact match, but it's the green they used everywhere else on the build with a bit of steel black in there as well. Looking nice. Down at the back, they are the same size rim with a 17-inch, but the rears are a bit wider at 275 width with a 55 profile on there. And I do think they fit it quite well. They're a similar style to what originally came on it. Didn't want to take too much away from that jumpy game. That wasn't me. I moved my mouse. But there we go. I think it looks pretty good. Do let me know what you think. But let's jump inside. We'll just open this rear door quickly so you can see how much higher that bench is raised. I quite like it. I think it's pretty cool. But let's jump in and see where our seating position is. That's not bad. Much better. Oh, the rear door's open. I was thinking, why can I see so much daylight? But the rear door's open. Much better than in that limousine from the first one. Not very much viewing from the window, I will be honest. The gravel track's going to be quite hard in this. But it is meant to be a military Jeep. That's what I'm calling it anyway. So less windows to be shot from. Anyway, let's get this one started and see what this engine sounds like. I don't think I've heard that tick over before. That's a very fast-paced tick over, but let's give it some gas. Wasn't expecting that at the top end, if I'm being honest. But there we go. Sounding pretty good. Let's get this one into the dyno. See what its horsepower is and what its drag rating will be. On the dyno then, and with the i4 powered Jeep thing that we're not going to try and pronounce again. 138 factory horsepower on this one. How much have we added today with performance parts? And will it have a good drag rating? Let's take a look. Wow, I think that is the lowest we've had in a very long time, both on the actual gain and percentage-wise. That's pretty low. 75 horsepower gained, 55%. Yeah, I definitely thought we would do a little bit better than that. I'm not going to lie. Bringing us up to 212 total horsepower and a drag rating of D111. I'm so glad Pac-Man suggested that we take this one on the dirt track instead of the drag strip, because that would have been absolutely diabolical. Before we head over to the gravel track, though, let's take a look at the gearbox tuning. That's what we've gone for today. Ignore all of the speeds because they are not representative. So far, 2 for 2. They don't seem like they're anything close to what they should be in regards to the tuning in the gearbox. I don't know whether that's because of the mods that I've got on my game or whether it turns out the same on the base game. We'll have to have a look at some point and find out. Now, we've got no ECU and no carburetors to tune, but don't forget, you can check out both the shorts on how to easily tune them. They are linked in the description below. We're not going to do a card today because we haven't got a specific one. So let's get this beast onto the gravel track and see what we can do with the Jeep thing. Here we are then on a Bullet Tooth Tony's off-road gravel track, rally track, whatever you want to call this one. Absolute fun track. Our goal today, as it is every time we come here, is to try and knock whoever's in the top spot off, and it is still that pesky little Quattro designed and built by myself specifically for this track, so that's why it still sits in the #1 spot. But we're looking to beat a flying lap of 1:41.676. Are we going to be able to do it with whatever this monstrosity is today? There is only one way to find out, and it's not even four-wheel drive. Let's go. Now we're going to do, obviously, 2 laps, standing lap and a flying lap. You'll see all of the flying lap and only some of the bad bits from the standing lap. Here we go as we head into the first corner. Acceleration and gear changing isn't too bad. Do we need to brake for this corner? Off the acceleration a little bit. but we're not braking. This is actually pretty good. Quite smooth, if a little bit slow. Over the crest, into the next full U-turn. There we go. No braking for that corner either. I'll be not going to lie, this Jeep thing, as much as it is slow, it is quite smooth to drive, and I'm quite enjoying this. No braking there either. This handles like a dream, but I suppose when you're going slow, handling isn't overly important like that, so it doesn't really matter. Round the final corner, I didn't brake for that, and I probably should have, although we did get away with it. And across the line, 155.937. So yeah, not the best, but still pretty good. I'm enjoying it. Let's crack on. I did a little dab of the brake there just to get us round. Also dropping it down a gear to get us up the hill there. Not too bad at all. It's just a little slow. It handles absolutely beautifully. I really like how it handles, but it's just not got the power or the legs to get us there. Even with the gear tune saying it's going to go really high. Here we go over the jump. Tiny little bit of air that time into the Plateau S section before the next U-turn or hairpin, whatever you want to call it. All the way around. No braking. A little bit of braking on the exit there just to make sure we made that all the way around as we come in to the hairpin. We brake for the hairpin. A little bit off the acceleration, but no braking. Happy with that. As we go to the uphill S section before the next hairpin. Any braking there? Not at all. Didn't even come off the accelerator. As we go over the crest of the hill and then in to the U-turn on the other side. No braking, not even off the acceleration. Very nicely done around there. Into the narrow section. Don't clip the walls. This is a bit wobbly. It will roll, but I am going to brake for the exit just to make sure we don't clip it and miss that corner. I think I hit a bollard there, but it counts. We're going through it nonetheless. Let's carry on. We're in the forest section. Bit hard to see that A-pillar's right in my way, but no braking around there. Nice and smooth. Yeah, I do like this. I'm not going to lie. I like this Jeep a lot. Maybe we just swap in a better engine and give this another go at some point. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Not missing a single turn. Final corner, no brake. Off the acceleration a little bit. And powering on down across the start-finish line. There it is. What did we end up with? A 151.388. Now, probably not even in the top 5, which is a bit of a shame, but I definitely really enjoyed that run. This is such a smooth truck to drive. Definitely a lot of fun if you want to try that. Could do with a lot more power, but we can deal with that another time. Anyway, let's get this one back to the garage, see where it would sit on the gravel track lap time board, and see if we can sell it on for a nice bit of profit. Well, there we are, all finished with the Jeep thing. Wasn't the best around the gravel track. In fact, it was really good around the gravel track. It just didn't have enough power to make it worth its while. We managed the standing in a 155.937 and the flying lap in a 151.388, pitting it 8th out of 11 on the speederboard, which I'm going to be honest, isn't that bad. I'll be honest, I'm quite happy with that one. From this thing, it had so little horsepower, it shouldn't have made it anywhere. But there we go. Let's talk some facts and figures about this beast. We bought the car for $10,938 and could have sold it and lost out on $589. But we didn't do that. We since spent another $44,440 upgrading and modifying, painting and tuning this little Jeep beast thing. Really enjoyed it. But our total spend is $55,378. Will there be some profit when we come to sell this one? Let's get in. Let's take a look. Well, there it is. He who shall not be named Jeep thing is what we're calling it from now on. Whole 100% finished, and it's looking pretty good. I do like it. We managed to get some extra power out of that engine, but not much. 138 was the factory horsepower. We got up to 212, a gain of 55%. 75 horsepower is all we managed to increase this one by. But we did spend $55,378 in total on this vehicle. Can we make some profit? We can indeed, with a sale price of $112,815. That leaves us with a profit of $57,437. Open that trunk last time. There we go. Pretty good. A lot of profit to be made. Just a shame it wasn't very quick. As I said, we might come back to this one again, because I really enjoyed the way it drove and handled on the gravel track. Just needed a bit more power. Not too much more, but I reckon this could be the contender for knocking at that Quattro off the speederboard. But anyway, let's get you sold. Off you go. We'll take our profit and then we'll take a look at the next vehicle we've got. When we come back on Monday, we will still be on the China DLC with this Zhonghua Xiongying. I tried. I've probably got it all wrong. We're going to call this one the double cab pickup because that's what it is. It's a pickup with double cab. Nice and easy. We got ours from the auction house. It is available everywhere, but did we get a good deal? No. Quite a lot. I bought it for 35,587 and could sell it for 31,582. As it stands at the moment, losing out on 4,005 credits. The engine in this one is the V6 double overhead cam CHG engine with 302 factory horsepower. Let me know in the comments where you want to see this one. We'll put it around whatever you want to see. You want to see it on the drag strip? We'll put it on the drag strip. You want to see it on the gravel track? We'll do it on the gravel track. You want to see it around the racetrack? For whatever reason, we will do that. Do let me know in the comments where you want to see it. And then make sure you join us back here on Monday for when we come to building the double cab pickup. It's going to be pretty cool. It's probably my favorite design from all of the China cars, China DLC cars. I don't know how you want to say that, but there we go. I am going to like this one the most, hopefully, but I'm not sure what to do with it. So let me know wherever you want to see it on the racetrack, the drag strip, or the gravel track if you want to. Thank you so much for watching for today's video. I do hope you did enjoy it. Leave me a cheeky little like if you did. Don't forget to double check you are subscribed. But let me know what you think in the comments below. That's definitely one of the best ways you can help this channel. But you could also share this video with your friends. You know, anyone that likes Car Mechanic Simulator or is really into their cars, they might enjoy my content. So share it with them if you do also enjoy it. Thank you so much to every one of you that's still here at the end. Definitely one of the best ways you can support me is just by watching the content. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Like and subscribe for Virtual Mechanic.